Since this course is addressing mainly to a student that is already comfortable using PowerPoint, I thought to not waste your time by explaining and showing on screen all of my mouse clicks and keystrokes during these lectures, as this thing could become very boring. However, I want to at least make this lecture all about the shortcuts I use, so anyone knows these shortcuts by heart and use them in the homeworks that you'll do in order to learn making advanced animations in PowerPoint. So in this lecture, I'll present you the most used shortcuts. Firstly, we'll use Ctrl and C. That means copy. For example, I select this object, then by pressing Ctrl and C, I copied it in the clipboard, the temporary memory of the PC. Another shortcut I use is Ctrl and V. That means paste. So I press now the Ctrl and V keys and I paste the object I copied before. The two shortcuts, Ctrl and C and Ctrl and V, copy and paste, could be substituted by the shortcut Ctrl and D, which means duplicate. I press now Ctrl and D, and here is the duplicated object that was selected previously. Another shortcut I use is Ctrl and A for selecting all the objects and texts on a slide. So instead selecting them one by one, if I have many objects, I press Ctrl and A, and here they are selected, the objects and the text above them. Another shortcut I use is Ctrl and Z, which means redo, mostly used when I've made a mistake. For example, I now press Ctrl and Z, and the object that was positioned to the right side before is now placed in the initial position. I drag it here on the left side, and let me make it bigger and distort it. Then by pressing the Ctrl and Z keys, I redo the object to the shape and position it was previously. And if I press again Ctrl and Z, the object is moved in the position it was before. Another shortcut I want to talk about is Ctrl and drag and drop, which means also duplication. It could be more complicated for those who make it for the first time, but it's quite simple if you repeat it several times. Here's how it's done. Step 1. Select the object you want to duplicate. Step 2. Press the Ctrl key, and here you can see a little plus sign appearing beside the mouse's cursor. Step 3. Drag and drop with the mouse. So I left click the object with the mouse, then drag it where I want. Step 4. Release the mouse's button. Step 5. Release the Ctrl key. Let me duplicate again this object. So 1. Select the object. 2. Press the Ctrl key. 3. Drag and drop. 4. Release the mouse. 5. Release the Ctrl key. And I do this one more time with this object, but this time faster. Another shortcut for selecting more objects on the slide is by pressing the Shift key. So I select this object, then by pressing the Shift key, I select this one, and this and this way I can select the objects one by one. The last shortcut I want to talk about is by dragging with the mouse's cursor a selection spot, thus forming a rectangle on the objects I want to select. Here's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's it for this lecture. If you're not familiar with these shortcuts, please exercise a little to know them. We will meet in the next video.